All right, so here's our match, guys. Here's our matchup. Let's look at our teams here real quick. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to set up, get relaxed here. Are you guys ready? You guys excited? All right, guys, welcome to the first ever aDrive Army subscriber tournament. We have gone from 128 teams, and we are down to our final 4 teams here. This is the semifinal match. We have the PC Bayern Munich, coached by Gumby, taking on Jedi Kadabra and the Ernst Dutch Bicycles Rain team. These teams have gone through 128 teams to get to the final 4. All these teams are competing for a $100 prize, as well as a video on my channel and an opportunity to join the aDrive Army team building server for the GBA and UCL that I use and collaborate on. So definitely some pretty cool prizes here, and it's looking to be pretty awesome. So let's look at their team preview really quickly. We've got the Mega Gardevoir, Mew, Salamence, Blastoise, Medicham, and Mismagius taking on Clefable, Bronzong, Toxicroak, Politoed, Mega Swampert, and Zapdos. Now, please keep in mind that both coaches did know what the other team had. This is the counter team format. The draft format was as follows. All the coaches were able to pick one Pokemon from every tier and had to go through the entirety of the tournament with that same team of 6. One Mega Pokemon, one Pokemon from tier 1. Did I say Clefable? I said Clefairy. Either way, Clefairy, I'm sorry. One Pokemon from, one Mega Pokemon, one Pokemon from tier 1, one Pokemon from tier 2, one from tier 3, one from tier 4, and one from tier 5. Prior to every match, every coach had an opportunity to prepare for their opponent's team directly. So, to kind of give you guys an example here, in this situation, knowing that Mega Swampert is on the other team, it's very likely that Hidden Power Grass or something like that might be carried by the Munich to counteract that Mega Swampert. So don't be surprised to see some very specific sets. These are all phenomenal battlers here that we're down to for the last 4, man. So it's looking to be pretty epic. Thank you, Jedi Kadabra, man. Thank you for the $2 tip there. Looking like he's trying to give himself a little bit of luck in this matchup. So let's make this happen. aDrive Army, are you ready for the semifinals of the first ever aDrive Army tournament? $100 on the line. Are you guys hyped? Are you guys ready? Let me see it in the chat, guys. We're about to get things kicked off right here. It is about to be going down, guys. We've got the 2 semifinal matches and then the final match going on live. This is all 100% live, guys. These matches have not happened. I will be commentating them live in real time. All right, looks like you guys are ready to rock. Let's do this. Good luck to both teams. Start whenever. All right, let's do this, man. We're gonna have an epic match here, guys. If I had to predict, I would say if I was the Dutch Bicycles here, I would think it'd be a great, very high priority to get those Stealth Rocks on the field. Crippling that Salamence, 25% off that Salamence every turn is going to be incredibly important to make that happen. But there is an opportunity here for that Swampert to sweep. If he can get the rain up, I could definitely see that Swampert putting in the work. But he is going to have to be able to get through that probably physically defensive Blastoise in order to do that. So we're going to see the Salamence lead here against Bronzong. So this is very interesting because based on the team that the Munich is bringing, it's very possible that this Bronzong is a heat-proof Bronzong. So we're going to find out here soon. Don't forget Salamence does get Crunch as well to handle Bronzong if you're trying to counteract a heat-proof variant. But this is where Bronzong could potentially get those Stealth Rocks up right away, which leads me to believe that Swampert is going to be a more offensive variant, which I think we could have predicted either way. But Salamence is very scary, man. It could be a Life Orb variant with Draco Meteor. It could be Fire Blast and things. It could be setting up with Dragon Dance here, which it would probably be a tough decision to do at this point in the match, considering the fact that it could have the Gyro Ball. But there you're going to see a Hidden Power Ice come off from the Bronzong after catching a Crunch, which is a 2-hit KO. Very important there, as I did call out the Crunch potential there. He's going to make a switch out into the Clefairy, predicting the Crunch. Now, Clefairy may seem like a very strange pick for this tournament, but it is a tier 5 pick, so every team had to pick one tier 5 Pokemon. And rocking that Eviolite, man, allows this Clefairy to take a lot of hits. I apologize if I called it a Clefable, but it allows this Clefairy to take a lot of hits. It's got reliable recovery with Soft Boiled. It can Wish Up, and it's going to threaten the Salamence out right now, because even if Salamence is carrying the Iron Tail, that Iron Tail is not going to do enough to knock out this Clefairy, especially if it's rocking what we presume to be an Eviolite and quite a bit of bulk investment here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little swap here, maybe into that Mew to try to get some momentum back. You're going to have to try to wear this thing down, and the thing about Clefairy that makes it so tough to take down is the fact that it does have that Magic Guard ability abilities. We're going to see a double switch here, but it seems like the Munich end out ahead here, having the opportunity to get that Mismagius in with that base 105 speed, rocking the Shadow Ball here, definitely going to knock out the Bronzong if it stays in. So that's going to put the Bicycle here, or that's going to put Jedi Kadabra in a very tough spot right at the beginning of this matchup here. And the momentum, you see how that double switch right there really swung the momentum back into the Munich's favor. So very, very cool plays there. Now, the thing that's scary about Mismagius that you really, really have to worry about is the fact that it does get access to Nasty Plot. And if he sets up a Nasty Plot right now, this could be game. And here comes a Shadow Ball firing off. If he had went for the Nasty Plot there, he could have potentially, with a good damage roll, knocked out the Clefairy. Now, the scary thing here is Clefairy could very much so be running Thunder Wave, and that Thunder Wave would shut down Mismagius' effectiveness in this match. But I gotta say, guys, looking at this match right now, this Mismagius is looking to be quite a bit of a problem for I'm so bad with names here, for Jedi Kadabra. I want to call him the Bicycles. Here comes another Shadow Ball. Does not get the high roll he needs. He is going to actually bring the Clefairy down to 2%, and luckily Clefairy is able to survive that, get the soft bowled up, but this is not a long-lasting strategy here. He's going to really have to make a move, and this Mismagius is just putting out a ton of offensive pressure, guys. The thing about Mismagius, again, is having the opportunity to boost itself up with Nasty Plot, that great speed stat, the fact that it's got quite a few immunities, ground immunity, normal immunity, fighting immunity, very, very nice typing there, and a sub Nasty Plot Mismagius, actually, that is correct, Freezelander. I would say a sub Nasty Plot Mismagius could actually sweep at this point in time. If it's carrying, with sub, it would be tough, because you're going to assume that this thing might be running Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, potentially Thunderbolt for the Politoed. Again, both teams knew what the other team had, right? So they have their team specified exactly to what the other 6 Pokemon are going to bring. But so far, the Munich here, or Gumby, is actually putting on a lot of offensive pressure on Callum or Kadabra. So this has been a pretty intense matchup already here. But we haven't seen the rainfall yet, guys. Once that rain falls, that could change the entire dynamic of this match. We've got some great matches, guys. We've got this one. We've got our second semifinal match going on between Gregulator and Retwit, or Swellowas. And then the finals match after that. So there is that Thunder Wave crippling the Mismagius, but I don't really think there was much that could have been done about that, unfortunately. You know, he's going to keep firing off Shadow Balls. You can see the Life Orb starting to wear him down, and just how viable this Clefairy is actually proving itself to be. Not only is it tanking these hits from Mismagius, but it paralyzed it with the T-Wave, and it's kind of keeping the momentum from swinging the complete opposite direction. But one unlucky crit or a special defense drop right there can twist those plans pretty quickly. Got to give a shout out to Neo Blackheart, baby, for 5 months of love. Thank you, Neo, for the love, man. I do appreciate that. What's up, DBJ? How's it going? What's up, Walreigns? If you guys want to participate, this is the first tournament. We are already in our final 4. But I'm hoping to do more tournaments in the future, especially if you guys like this kind of stuff. So don't be afraid if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, or you're showing the love here in the chat. Definitely show me that you guys are excited about this, though, because I want to know that you guys are stoked, and I want to know that you want to see more tournaments that you guys can participate in, and hopefully you guys are excited. Again, $100 on the line today. As we see that Parahax come out, very, very big. He's going to be able to get his Clefairy back up to a solid amount of health, but this Politoed is going to take a pretty significant amount of damage there, 38% from that Shadow Ball. But the fact that Mismagius is now paralyzed, it is definitely in range for a rain-boosted Scald here to knock it out. We know this Mismagius is likely going to be running enough speed to outspeed probably a max speed Swampert or Toxicroak out of rain. And we're going to see that Scald knock out the Mismagius and pick up the first kill of the match. And like I said, Mismagius had a lot of offensive potential in this match, but Tim Tam coming out here, and unless this is a Scarf Politoed, which by the way is very likely, that could really catch the Munich off guard here with a Scarf Politoed. Could be a Resto Chesto set. It might be a Scarf Politoed. We don't have enough intel to know that now, but that could really, really catch him off guard here. We know a Hyper Voice is likely coming. Bronzong is already weakened down to about 40%, and we are going to see that Hyper Voice come off. The Politoed does live, fires off a big Scald there, and gets a nice burn. 30% chance, happens all the time, though. Ugly Turtle, baby, 8 months of love. Thank you so much, Turtle, for the love there. Very, very important to note here that this Politoed is still alive, but in range of Stealth Rock. It's going to be curious. It's going to be interesting to see here whether he switches him out. He is going to save it to preserve the rain later. But again, this Bronzong taking that crunch early game really, really wore it down. and now it's not able to check the Gardevoir. So this Gardevoir can actually run through a lot of his team, but that burn is starting to wear him down. Here comes the Zapdos. Very surprising to see Zapdos come in here. He may just try to roost stall him out. It could be a Scarf Zapdos with Volt Switch. As we see, the Munich does not have any sort of immunity to electric types. So we could see a couple different things here. Whether he will be Volt Switch, Choice Scarf variant, whether he's going to go for a Speed tie here, whether he's just simply a bulky variant. We're going to see him outspeed, whether that's a Scarf variant or simply winning the Speed tie there. I'm going to assume Scarf. We're going to get the nice Thunder flying off there. And of course, Thunder does have 100% accuracy in rain. What's up, Kangaroos? Thank you, C-Quick, for the sub love, man. Welcome to the aDrive Army, dude. I really do appreciate that. Here comes Mew, the most dynamic Pokemon in the game, being able to learn every single TM. And we're going to see Mew actually use Thunder, and that's what makes the counter team format so great. There is a huge paralysis. Do not forget, Thunder has a 30% chance to paralyze. We can now confirm the Mew is indeed Scarf Mew, or we're just dealing with a base 100 speed tie here. But either way, based on that damage, both these Pokemon are definitely offensive. You can tell from just the damage coming off from that Zapdos. These Pokemon might both be Scarfed. What's up, Cut? Both, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Very, very intense there, but that 30% chance to paralyze with the Thunder is really going to cripple it, and he is going to win the speed tie this time. So a little bit of luck there, but there goes that. And this game is heavily looking like it could be Jedi Kadabra's game, but there's some pretty intense Pokemon still to be used. We've got this Salamence here, and now without the rain, it's a 30% chance to, 30% chance to miss the Thunder. So this game is open for anyone here, especially with that Medicham sitting in the back. That thing is incredibly scary. He is going to outspeed, so he continues to just thunder his opponents. This is looking like it is going to be a Scarfed Zapdos or whatever it is. This thing is just firing off continuous thunders and not missing. Here comes the Medicham. He's down to his final two Pokemon, Medicham and Blastoise. He's going to save that to get the rain up, allowing that Swampert to come in, set up its Mega Evolution, and start to really, really, really put in some work here. Okay, so I'm sorry. The Mew was paralyzed. I forgot about the speed tie. My apologies. But he's going to make the switch into his Blastoise, take this EQ. It did not like that, man. That is almost a 2-hit KO. Dark Dragon and Fedora, thank you guys for the love. You guys are both ready for the next tournament. I'm glad to hear it. Oh my goodness, we see the counter Blastoise just barely missing out on the KO, so it does look like Bertha is going to be able to pick up the knockout here on Blastoise and leave it just down to a Medicham versus quite an uphill battle. And unfortunately, Medicham does not really learn any moves that can beat the Clefairy, so I'm having a feeling that this game might just be over, ladies and gentlemen, but it isn't over until it's over. There's the waterfall. There's no priority on that, and that is going to be a win for Jedi Kadabra with the Rain team working his way into the finals. So please give a huge congratulations to Jedi Kadabra, guys, for coming through, picking up the W with the Rain team. And he is going to the finals to enter and compete against either Gregulator or Retwits for $100, guys. It is about to go down. Congratulations, and please give a nice congratulations as well to Gumby for making it this far. It is no joke. Gumby made it all the way to the Final Four from 128 teams. This man's an absolute legend, and big props to him and everyone else who's participated. Thank you, Anna. 24 months. That's 2 years of love for Alora Light, guys. Such a wonderful, wonderful individual. I hope everything's going well with you, Anna. Thank you for the love. Here is our matchup, guys. Oh, man, this is looking to be pretty intense. This is the second of the semifinals matches for the first ever aDrive Army subscriber tournament. We had our first match go down just a bit ago, and we saw Jedi Kadabra and his Mega Swampert Rain team, backed by Zapdos, pick up the win over Gumby. So they are going to the finals, but we have another match here in the semifinals. Gregulator bringing a very interesting team, taking on Swellowas here. Swellowas, I'm going to try not to butcher that name. This is going to be intense, guys. This is going to be very, very intense. We've got a Mega Sceptile. Very interesting. A Victini. A Togekiss. I don't want to butcher the name. Togekiss. A Cabalion. A Seismitoad. And a Liepard. Alright. Taking on a Mega Venusaur. A Volcanion. A Diggersby, though. Donphan, Bronzong, and Swellow. So, just kind of looking at the team here, it's going to be pretty interesting, man. Victini runs through teams pretty effectively, but with that Volcanion there, that is definitely going to hinder Victini's effectiveness. Donphan can take some hits from Victini. Even a bulky Venusaur with the thick fat can take some hits from Victini. So don't be surprised if you see some sort of a mixed or especially offensive Victini, maybe rocking like Bolt Strike to take on the Volcanion. I could see like a Bolt Strike with like a Blue Flare type of variant to kind of catch that Donphan off guard. That Mega Sceptile could definitely prove to be pretty useful, especially against the Diggersby. You know, we've got that Swellow there, very scary, outspeeding the entirety of his team. We've got that, you know, Seismitoad there, which could be very effective to counter the Volcanion. You got Leopard, which could be simply like a Taunter, Thunderwave Spreader. This is going to be a pretty good showdown, guys. So what team do you think is going to win this match? Are you guys rooting for Gregulator and his Victini Mega Sceptile squad? Or are you going to be rooting for Swellow or Retwits and his Mega Venusaur Volcanion squad? Let me see it in the chat, guys. Let me see that aDrive Army hype going for these two legends about to throw it down. This is the semifinals. The finals will be right after this, guys. Thank you so much, Zagar2Lit, for the sub love, man. And welcome to the aDrive Army. And big shouts to Cameron, baby. 16 months of love for Cameron Blazer. He says Team Greg. Rooting for Gregulator. A lot of people rooting for Gregulator, but we're going to get an amazing match here. These guys have worked so hard to get to this spot. 128 teams down to the final 4. Now the final 3 teams about to throw down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be pretty intense. If you are new to the stream, definitely hit that follow button if you haven't done so yet. And let's get started. You can start whenever you want. Good luck. Have fun. All right, there it is, guys. Let's see what goes down. Thank you so much, Caxmerk, for 6 months of sub love. It's going to be very interesting to see whether Swellow is going to want to get up those Stealth Rocks early. Obviously, having those rocks up is going to really hinder the effectiveness of that Victini and the Togekiss. Taking 25% every switch in, that could really put some pressure on. I think it's going to be very important for him to get that Mega Venusaur evolution off. And it's going to be interesting to see whether he's going to have the proper responses to Victini. Victini's going to be very scary. He's going to lead with Franklin here, his Seismitoad, taking on against a Swellow. Now, Swellow's very scary because Swellow can rock Boom Burst Choice Specs variants. It could be a Guts variant. He is going to simply U-turn out. So we do believe he is going to be an offensive variant. Thank you guys for all the follows too, guys. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Zagar, for the love, man. How you doing? So he's going to make a quick U-turn into the Venusaur here. Stealth Rocks are on the field, which is going to hinder the effectiveness of that Volcanion and the Swellow. And the only way to get rid of those hazards is to Rapid Spin with the Donphan. So pretty interesting stuff there. I guess Swellow gets defogged too, doesn't it? But either way, let's not really even think about that. So this Venusaur is in here, and it really is going to threaten out this Seismitoad with a Giga Drain. Could this be an opportunity for him to go into his Mega Sceptile? Could this Victini come out here to threaten immediately? You don't really want to go into Togekiss because of the risk of a Sludge Bomb here. So it's going to be pretty interesting. That Cobalion could come out here to take on that Giga Drain, potentially Sludge Bomb. But keep in mind, these two teams know exactly what the other team's 6 Pokemon are going to be. So they've specifically designed their sets, their EVs, everything to take on their opponents. So he's going to make the play into Victini, go on the offensive here. And there is a Roar, so kind of a blank Roar there just to kind of scout out what the response is going to be. So kind of a little bit of intel there that Swellow is going to get. Finds out, okay, you know what? I know Claw of Hermos, I know Gregulator's default play into my Venusaur is now Victini. Is he going to go back into Victini again? No, he's going to go into Togekiss, and that is perfectly predicted with a very well-timed Sludge Bomb, taking off 56% of that Togekiss. That is a 2-hit KO. But do not let that fool you. Togekiss is very threatening. There's the switch. He's going to make his play into Bronzong, which is a very reliable Togekiss counter, especially when you factor in the fact that this this Bronzong may very well have Heat Proof instead of Levitate. So some pretty interesting stuff there. So very interesting doubles there. Cobalion comes out, potentially trying to set up those Stealth Rocks. Or maybe trying to get some momentum with the Volt Switch or something like that. He's going to make the play right back into Leopard, and we see the Trick Room come out. Something I did not expect. That changes the entire dynamic of this matchup here. I apologize, rocks are already up. Aura Master, 2 months of love, baby. Thank you, Aura, for the love, man. That is intense, man. Get in that. Oh, my goodness. The plays, man. The plays. Wow, let me break this down for you guys. Trick Room went up from Bronzong, really revealing some of the strategies that the Swellow are bringing. The Leopard went for Copycat, gets that Prankster, reverses the Trick Room, and then gets absolutely destroyed by a Gyro Ball because of its speed stat. But this ain't over, man. Victini comes in from that play, goes to that blue flare as we expected. Like I said, very likely to be a mixed Victini set, potentially with Bolt Strike to handle that Volcanion. Blue flare comes off. We see the Dawn Fan go down in one hit, and that is the importance, ladies and gentlemen, of hazards. Stealth rocks are so incredibly important because that did remove the potential of that Dawn Fan sturdy activating there, allowing the Victini to knock it out in one hit with blue flare, obviously attacking it from the special side rather than the physical side. Here comes Volcanion taking 25% from stealth rocks. That is pretty intense there. Oh, was that a crit? It looked like, was that a crit? That was a crit. So maybe the crit mattered. It would have been a 2 KO either way. But nevertheless, Dawn Fan does go down to the crit there. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the chat, so I didn't see it was a crit. But the rocks did break the sturdy there. So not sure how much that crit ultimately mattered. But either way, the Volcanion's gonna come in here, fire off a Steam Eruption, and heal up Franklin. Hey, it's Franklin. You guys remember that show, the little turtle guy? Anyway, Franklin comes in, takes the Steam Eruption, gets healed up, and Franklin serves as a phenomenal defensive check to Volcanion if it is not carrying HP Grass. And the thing that makes this very interesting is if this Volcanion is set up for the Trick Room, it very well could be slower than the Seismitoad. But he's going to get a simple Earth Power off here. Get a little bit of chip damage on the Venusaur. Doesn't want to over predict. Maybe hoping that he would outspeed or something like that because of the potential Trick Room. Here comes the Endeavor, but this Venusaur is EV'd in a way to be slower than the Seismitoad. So what an interesting set of plays, guys. The Seismitoad went for Endeavor, expecting the Venusaur to be faster, but maybe that Trick Room earlier should have really tipped off Gregulator that Venusaur and some of his Pokemon might be a little bit slower. Very interesting play. Typically, Venusaur does naturally outspeed Seismitoad. And I'm assuming Gregulator was banking on the fact that Venusaur would be faster, but this Venusaur is clearly a negative speed nature and designed to be faster in the Trick Room. Very interesting strategy, potentially trying to get those the Trick Room up and then maybe beat the Togetic that way. But man, that Venusaur is going to take out the Seismitoad very, very easily there with a couple Giga Drains, getting himself back up to 70%. Here comes Victini, which is just an incredible offensive threat here. Again, we saw the Blue Flare earlier. This could be a Specs variant. This could be a Charcoal variant. This could be a Choice Scarf variant. That is the mystery of Victini. We do not know what set this thing is running, and we do know that it does carry Psychic coverage typically. That Psychic would most certainly knock out a Mega Venusaur at this point in time, but is that going to bait in the Bronzong? You know what I mean? Like, this could be an Expert Belt variant here, so very, very tough situation. I'm sorry, I keep saying Togetic. It's Togekiss, I'm sorry. I always mess up the two. But either way, he's going to miss a Blue Flare. Ladies and gentlemen, Victini has an ability that boosts its accuracy. I don't know if I've ever seen a Victini miss a Blue Flare, but he does miss that one. Wow. Just wow. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Blue Flare is 85% accurate, which does boost it to about 93%, if I'm not mistaken, 93.5%. But here comes the Psyche, that comes off. Here comes a Sludge Bomb. Will he get the poison? He does secure the poison. That's going to take off 12% every single turn and really wear this thing down. But the problem is the Swellow have really no switch-ins to this Victini, guys. He has very, very few switch-ins to this thing because he can simply click Blue Flare now and really, really weaken that Venusaur, knock it out. He can't switch into the Bronzong anymore. That will knock out the Venusaur. That is a very crucial kill there for this Victini. Now, he does still have this Volcanion, but keep in mind, Volcanion and Swellow are taking 25% every turn. This Swellow comes out here. Very likely this thing is Choice Scarf. This thing could potentially be Choice Scarfed. By the way, he brought it in, especially since we haven't really seen what item this Victini's holding. We know it's not a choice variant. It's very likely Expert Bell or perhaps some sort of berry, but we're gonna see the Tailwind come off here. So not only are the Swellow rocking Trick Room, but they're running Tailwind on the same team. Very interesting strategies. Maybe he's gonna try to get a free switch into his Diggersby, which he can't do against his Cobalion because of the threat of a close combat. I don't know, guys. This is pretty intense. That Tailwind definitely going to throw Gregulator for a loop here, but definitely feeling like the Swellow are in a bit of a pickle here because they lost one of their primary defensive kind of responses in that Mega Venusaur. Here comes the Togekiss, going to take a U-turn. That does approximately 0 damage. I think I've seen Pebbles do more damage. And here comes the Diggersby, which is fully loaded up with 2 turns of Tailwind. Will he be able to set up a Swords Dance and start quick attacking some things, or is he going to start to to fire off a return here. Is he going to set up an agility? What is this Diggersby going to do? This thing could be very scary. He is going to go for that agility boost to speed 2 times. Here comes the air slash. That is not going to do anything. There is no threat of a flinch here. If this Diggersby sets up a Swords Dance, this game is over, but he's going to take the Life Orb damage. This could be game, ladies and gentlemen. In comes the Kabalion. If this thing does not carry a Shuckleberry, it could go down to an Earthquake here, and that could be a sweep. This thing outspeeds his entire team. It outspeeds the Sceptile. It outspeeds the Victini. Here comes the Earthquake, but the Shuckleberry, ever prepared Gregulator, fires off a close combat and takes out the Diggersby and switches his game right back around and gets some momentum back. Wow, talk about team preparation, ladies and gentlemen. That is why this format, in my opinion, is the best format in the game. When you know what your opponent's Pokemon are and they know what your Pokemon are, it gets down to a real intense test of skill, preparation, and just battle knowledge. We're going to see that close combat fire off do just very little to Bronzong. It's just so incredibly bulky. Bronzong carrying that Tech Earthquake, very nice, obviously, for the Victini and for the Kabalion there. Now the Trick Room is up. This Bronzong is looking like it is going to outspeed a Victini. Could Victini be rocking a Shuckleberry as well? That is the question. It seems very unlikely, but he's going to make a double, trying to burn some of these Trick Room turns. That's what Gregulator is trying to do right now. Gregulator wants to burn these Trick Room turns because he needs to get rid of that Trick Room so Sceptile can win. The problem here is Bronzong has the Gyro Ball, and we know Gyro Ball is going to do a tremendous amount to Sceptile. Sceptile has to Mega Evolve on this turn based on our rules, unless it switches into Victini, in which case this Bronzong could put a tremendous amount of pressure on it. What is going to go down here, guys? This is intense. Are you guys hyped in the chat? Ladies and gentlemen, turn up aDrive Army. This is pretty intense. He's going to make the switch back into Victini, predicting the Jar Ball. He lives it, but there are still turns of Trick Room here, guys. One turn left. Victini had that poison from earlier in the match. That is going to be very critical. Here comes the Jar Ball, taking down the Sceptile. Great prediction there. In fact, actually, that Bronzong did not even need to predict. And this game is over, ladies and gentlemen. This Victini will go down to poison damage. And the Swellow take the win 1-0 on the back of a very unique team carrying not only Trick Room, but Tailwind and an Agility Diggersby that almost swept, stopped, of course, by a Shuckleberry Kabalion. Oh my goodness, that was an intense matchup, ladies and gentlemen. That was an intense matchup. Wow. Please give a nice congratulations, guys, in the chat to Gregulator with an amazing preparation, amazing match. But definitely show some love to Swellow and retweets his name. He is going to the finals right now to take on Jedi Kadabra for $100. A video on my channel and an invite into the aDrive Small Council, which is my team building group for the GBA, UCL, and NPA. Wow. Just wow, man. That matchup was incredibly intense. That matchup was incredibly intense, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what to say about that. That was just amazing, man. That was just amazing. That was some intense battling there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the team preview here, guys. I don't even need this image anymore because we got it in front of us now. Wow, guys. We're going to be rocking with Jedi Kadabra taking on Swellow here in the final matchup. Just one match. It's not a best of 3. It's one match because it is counter team format. So you lose the element of surprise when you do rematches. So it's one match. Throwing it down. We're going to see what's about to happen, man. You've got the Rain team from Jedi Kadabra. That Mega Swampert, that Politoed setting the rain, the Toxicroak potentially rocking Dry Skin. You've got that Zapdos. We saw it utilized so incredibly well in the first round there of the semifinals. Rocking Thunder, 100% accurate in the rain. Very effective. We've got the Swellow here as well with Bronzong. Swellow, of course, Donphan, Diggersby, Volcanion, and Venusaur. Volcanion proves to be a very interesting Pokemon in this matchup because it does negate all the water type moves, but it's weak to Swampert's Earthquake. It's weak to Zapdos' Thunder. Can the Swellow get around that Mega Venusaur, though? that is going to be the difference maker here, ladies and gentlemen. Can Jedi Kadabra get around that Mega Venusaur? Because Zapdos running Air Cutter is not the most reliable response to it. Toxicroak needs to set up some sword stances to break down through Mega Venusaur. Politoed can't touch it. Mega Swampert might be able to 2-hit KO with Earthquake if he's not defensive, but dies to Giga Drain. Bronzong ain't doing nothing, and all Clefairy's going to do to it is paralyze it with a Thunder Wave. So, I don't know, man. Big shout out to my man, Deathly I Am, by the way. Tyler, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I miss you, buddy. Definitely hit me up, man. Don't be shy. I got this phone. You know how to text me, man. Thank you so much, Tyler, for the sub love, man. Big shout outs to that. Whew, this is going to be an intense matchup, guys. From the team preview, who is going to win? Jedi Kadabra and his Rain team, or Swellolas with his Mega Venusaur and Volcanion? Let's see it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Turn up. These guys are playing for 100 bucks. Right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is intense, man. Whew. This is intense. I'm excited, man. Like I said, we came from 128 teams down to just 2 over a month of battles and preparation and planning. And I want to take a moment here, guys, to thank from the deepest parts of my heart. I want to thank every one of you guys who entered this tournament, all the subscribers who held it down, supported the aDrive Army, participated in this tournament. And I want to send a very, very special thank you to all of the moderators and admins that are part of the aDrive Army that work tirelessly many, many hours behind the scenes. It's just amazing, guys. A lot of people don't even realize it, and it's so unfortunate. But so many people, guys, come together to make these things happen. This wasn't me running this tournament, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to make it seem like I did this. This was Usvia, Pragmatism in the chat. This was Galactic Elliot. This was, Gregulator. This was Professor Phoenix, Keith. Our mod squad, our admin group came together to make this tournament happen. And without them, we would have definitely not have had this situation. So please, please show some love to our mods and our admins in the chat, because Elizabeth, I mean, the names go on and on. I can't possibly say everyone's name right now, but you guys are all amazing. Omar, all you guys are just absolutely wonderful. And this is just, I gotta show some love. Obviously, Jimmy, yes, so many guys. Like, they held it down, guys. So please show some love to all of our mods and admins who made this possible, because you guys are just absolutely amazing. Ash Greninja, thank you for the $1 tip, man. So hyped for the 151-hour stream. Me and you both, dude. 151 is gonna be amazing. Thank you, Ash Greninja, for the love, man. I do appreciate that. Thank you again, Pie Master, for the tips. You guys are amazing. I love seeing all the hearts in the chat, guys. Wow, wow, wow. So this was an experimental tournament to see how you guys would like the tournaments, potentially doing more tournaments when Sun and Moon comes out. I love battling, guys. I've just been so tired of ORAS battling, but when Sun and Moon comes out, I do plan on getting on my battle grind a little bit more, and I would love to be holding weekly tournaments on the weekends and stuff. So, I really wanted to kind of experiment here a little bit, to kind of say goodbye to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and have some fun there, but hopefully you guys are excited, and if you do want to see, some aDrive Army tournaments in the future, you got to show the love. Let me know. Definitely hit that follow button if you're new here on Twitch, and of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button down below. Are you guys ready to rock? Are you guys ready to rock? I think it's about time that we fire things up here and find out who our first ever aDrive Army tournament winner is going to be. Will it be Jedi Kadabra? Or will it be Retwits, aka Swellolas? Oh man, this is about to go down. This is about to go down. These guys are competing for $100. A video on my YouTube channel with a shout out to their channel, of course, and an invite into my aDrive Small Council, which is my team building group that I use for the GVA, NPA, and UCL. Alright guys, it's time. It's time. Alright, let me just send him the message. What's up, Antonio Mon? How's it going? So they have the thumbs up to start whenever they would like. It's about to go down, man. It is about to go down. So, last match we saw the Swellolas lead with Swellow. Could we see that Bronzong lead? Could we see a Donphan lead? A lot of different versatility. What's up, Gweniac? A lot of different versatility between his potential lead options. We're going to see Jedi Kadabra potentially try to get those rocks up with either the Swampert, the Clefairy, or the Bronzong. I do believe Clefairy learns Stealth Rocks. I know Clefable does. So this is the final matchup. This is indeed the finals, guys. Let me actually tweet this out too. You know, finals going down now. I will tweet it out because people should know. People should know about what's going down. We're going to see a Politoed lead trying to get that rain up and potentially predicted exactly right by the Swellolas, leading with their Mega Venusaur here, giving them a very strong advantage off the bat. Now in this format, they do have to Mega Evolve in the first turn if they stay in, so if that Venusaur stays in, it will likely go for some sort of a Giga Drain. Sludge Bomb really wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. You might see a Leech Seed though. We're going to see the Zapdos come in, not the Bronzong. There's the Mega Evolution. Will it be a Leech Seed? No, it's going to be the 75% accurate Sleep Powder, but the Zapdos is carrying the Safety Goggles, which makes it immune to Powder moves. Wow, we're seeing some really interesting tech here on the first turn of the match. This Zapdos is specifically designed to take a Sleep Powder from the Venusaur. How insane is that? Wow, it was not a miss. That was a Safety Goggles Zapdos, ladies and gentlemen. A Safety Goggles Zapdos, making it immune to falling asleep from the Sleep Powder. This looks like it's going to be a perfect response to that Venusaur, potentially threatening it out right now with an Air Cutter, maybe a Drill Peck, some sort of flying move like that. Will he go for the Thunder here? No, there's the Air Cutter. Again, unfortunately, Zapdos does not learn Air Slash, so Air Cutter is going to be its best response to hit a Mega Venusaur. Here comes the Bronzong, of course. Very, very good defensive response to Zapdos. Potentially going to fire off a Toxic here. Might also simply go for the Stealth Rocks, as aside from Zapdos, there's no other hazard removers on the side of Jedi Kadabra and his Rain team. So getting at those Stealth Rocks could be pretty crucial to start to wear down his team, get that chip damage, especially on the Zapdos, and potentially give him some momentum here. But this Bronzong looks like it's probably going to be a very reliable counter to the Zapdos. Will he simply, Volt Switch out? You know, very, very interesting stuff here. But that Safety Goggles play on the first turn, very interesting. He's going to go for a Thunderbolt, not a Thunder. The Trick Room is going to come off here, so very interesting to see Trick Room utilized again here in the finals match. It seems like the Swellolas are very comfortable using Trick Room, which is something very interesting, very, very cool in my opinion. And he's going to go for the Rock Slide, Tech Rock Slide. Will he get the flinch? No, Thunderbolt comes off, does a tremendous amount of damage. If that was Thunder, that would have knocked him out, but he does have a chance here to get a 30% flinch with another Rock Slide. He's going to outspeed the Zapdos here. Very interesting. Surprised not to see the Thunder on this set. Very surprised not to see the Thunder, but he's going to be running the Thunderbolt this week instead. So don't forget that Zapdos does have the ability to go for a Roost here. It could potentially live a Rock Slide, go for the Roost, and potentially make it. He's going to live on 4. No flinch, gets the Roost off there and gets him back to 54%. That is going to end the rain. And unfortunately, this is not a winning battle for Bolter and Zapdos. Not going to be a good situation, especially considering the fact that he is risking a potential 30% chance for a flinch here. I think the switch into Swampert is likely, but he is instead going to go into Clefairy here, which is going to be a very reliable response to this thing. There is obviously the potential of a Gyro Ball, but if Jedi Kadabra was smart in his preparation, he probably would have ran a negative speed Clefairy to kind of counteract that Gyro Ball. But we're going to see those Stealth Rocks fire off here. So very, very nice stuff there. We got the Stealth Rocks. The draft was independent from each other, by the way, guys, which is why there's Bronzong on both teams. Each team was able to draft whatever Pokemon they wanted, one Pokemon from each tier. It wasn't like I pick, then you pick, then the next person picks. It was anyone could pick whatever 6 they wanted, whatever 6 they thought were going to be best. But keep in mind, you had to pick your 6 Pokemon, considering the fact that you could take on any Pokemon. You might have to take on Victini one game, and then the next game you might have to take on Mega Lopunny. So you really had to be very strategic in the Pokemon that you drafted. So we're going to see that the Stealth Rocks get set up here. That is going to weaken that Volcanion and the Swellow, 25% on switch in. Really start to kind of whittle down, break the sturdy on the Donphan. And again, the only way that the Swellow would potentially get rid of the hazards is to go for a Rapid Spin. But the thing here is that Mega Venusaur is incredibly scary, and very good prediction there. Pretty easy prediction, but very good prediction going to Bronzong, which typically does hard wall Venusaur. Venusaur typically cannot do anything. Oh, I'm sorry, Mega Lopunny was banned. I stand corrected. We did ban Mega Lopunny, but you get the idea, right? Mega Gardevoir instead, how's that? We did ban Mega Lopunny. That thing's too powerful. But we've got this Bronzong here, which typically, again, does totally wall Mega Venusaur. He's going to go for the Sleep Powder, though, and hit it. 75% accurate, and that is going to activate Sleep Claws. So if you don't know, you can only put one Pokemon to sleep at a time. So he's not able to click Sleep Powder again until this Bronzong wakes up, or he would, of course, be disqualified. What's up, Flaming Torchic? But that's going to give him a little bit of initiative here. He may try to make a play into that Volcanion. He may try to go for something like a Leech Seed or something like that. But in comes the Donphan here, potentially trying to get rid of those Stealth Rocks. Maybe carrying knockoff. We might see a knockoff here, guys. This might be an interesting opportunity for him to make the play into Swampert. He's going to go into Politoed, though, get the rain back up. There might be a Rapid Spin. Yep, there's the Rapid Spin. Going to get rid of those Stealth Rocks, obviously. Those Stealth Rocks really potentially going to wear down that Volcanion and the Swellows, so very important to get those off the field. But I wouldn't be surprised if that Clefairy is able to reset those Stealth Rocks again, as maybe he switches back into the Venusaur. But this Donphan definitely had a bit of a disadvantage here. Politoed can simply click Scald and really put a hurting on something, but that Volcanion could come in, take the Scald. Here comes a Psychic predicting the Venusaur. Stone Edge comes off, potentially predicting the Zapdos. So a little bit of mind games there, and seems like the Donphan kind of came out ahead on that little matchup there. Very interesting tech, running Psychic on Politoed to catch a Venusaur switch in. I don't even think that would be a 2-hit KO, but here comes the Scald. Very nice play there, making the safe Scald play, knowing it would either decimate the Donphan or potentially burn a Venusaur, which could really mess up Venusaur's plans. Thank you, Aerodactyl, baby. 2 months, man. I know you forgot to resub, man. Thank you, though, for 2 months. I really appreciate that, man. What's up, Supreme? Scald was definitely a safe play there because you're not going to really see much pressure from Volcanion on Politoed, and you know, a potential 30% burn on the Venusaur would be incredibly useful. So Politoed sitting here looking pretty nice in the rain. We still don't know what item it is. Could be a Chesto Resto set, could be some sort of kind of utility, could be like, I don't know, might have a reducing berry. It's really hard to tell at this point without seeing any other items, but what's up, Vormir? How's it going, man? Supreme, how's it going, guys? So it seems like he's in a bit of a tough spot. Could be an Assault Vest, Politoed, rather. We haven't seen how long the rain is active. I didn't look earlier. I think it was only... It could be Damp Rock, potentially. Yeah, Damp Rock. I didn't see how many turns it was last time. It might have been Damp Rock, but... what's up, Double Hit? How's it going, man? So... looks like the Swellows are on the back foot here, and they're going to go into the Mega Venusaur, so they are going to have to take a Psychic here if they want to stay in. But I don't really think that the Psychic is going to be a 2-hit KO. I really don't. Ash Ninja, thank you for the $1 tip, man. Says my cousin was in the tourney and lost in the second round. He had Mega Alakazam with D-Gleam, Psychic Recover, Calm Mind, and he lost because of a crit. Yeah, man, that's Pokemon for you, Ash Ninja. It happens, dude. That's Pokemon. But here comes the Venusaur. Typically does respond pretty well to Politoed. But Politoed is going to switch out into his very reliable Venusaur check, Bronzong. Bronzong just pretty much checks Venusaur every time. You know what I mean? Like, you're really not going to be able to do too much with Venusaur against this Bronzong. The only thing you would have is potentially a Leech Seed to wear it down. If he's Levitate, he could have Earthquake. The Venusaur might be carrying Knockoff. You know, he could do a couple things, but unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of Venusaur can do to Bronzong. So, in the meantime, he's got to burn a couple turns of sleep here. He's going to burn a turn of sleep there and allow this Volcanion to come in. Thank you, Ian, for 10 months of love, man. If any of you guys are new, by the way, shout out to Ian, 10 months. If any of you guys are new, definitely make sure you guys hit that follow button if you haven't done so yet, guys. Following is always free, and I do stream pretty much every single day. We are here for the finals of the first ever aDrive Army Tournament. These two are competing right now for $100 and some other prizes as well. This is getting intense, man. We've got this Bronzong here against the Volcanion. Very likely that there's going to be some sort of fire move coming off here. But there's a few reliable responses to that. One being the Politoed setting up the rain, potentially allowing it. It's not Damp Rock, okay. Potentially setting up the rain. There's a lot of different options here. He's going to go for a Substitute. Will he have the Earthquake? He wakes up very timely, setting up the Trick Room. This Volcanion is looking incredibly scary behind a Substitute, ladies and gentlemen. Even with the Bronzong setting up the Trick Room, if it's not carrying Earthquake or something like that, this could be very problematic, guys. This could be very problematic for Jedi Kadabra because Volcanion behind a sub is incredibly scary. He does have the Earthquake, but it might cost him his Bronzong. No, it's not. He's going to get a Steam Eruption off. 30% burn does connect. That is going to weaken the Earthquake, potentially allowing Volcanion to set up another Substitute. This is looking pretty intense here, but the advantage is in Bronzong's corner just because it outspeeds, but that burn is really unfortunate. Cutting the attack stat in half, making it so this Bronzong is not going to be able to do a ton of damage with that Earthquake. Volcanion can sub again. It can definitely take an Earthquake and then Substitute again, but you do risk the potential of, you know, a crit Earthquake right now, because that could potentially put him in a range where that Substitute won't activate anymore. In fact, that actually would, I would guess. A crit Earthquake could could really mess up this Volcanion, but does seem like a pretty safe play to just simply click Substitute from Volcanion. The Bronzong goes for Earthquake here. This is going to be intense. I'm not really sure what these two guys are going to do, but I don't see this Volcanion switching out. I think it's going to go for a nice substitute. I think it can get the sub up and knock out this Bronzong with a sub up. He's going to make the switch. I stand corrected. He's going to make the safe play and go into his Venusaur. I can't fault that play there. Venusaur just so reliably shuts down Bronzong that risking damage on that Volcanion, it just wasn't worth it when you know that the Venusaur is going to just hard wall this thing. So Giga Drain comes off, does not knock him out, but after burn damage that will knock him out. He's going to reset the Trick Room here, which ends up being kind of a wasted turn almost. In fact, I'm actually really surprised to see that he did that. It was a wasted turn. I don't know why he did that. That was a very interesting play. Sludge Bomb comes off here, does a tremendous amount, gets the poison. Poison is probably going to be irrelevant, though, because he is Magic Guard, so that doesn't really matter. Freezelander, but don't forget that the Bronzong would have been faster, which is why there was that issue. That's why Volcanion couldn't just sub, guys. The Bronzong was faster than the Volcanion, which is why he switched it out, because he didn't want to take the Earthquake damage, then take the sub damage. And again, if he got crit on the Earthquake, he would have lost his Volcanion, or rather not been able to sub up. So either way, this Venusaur putting on a lot of pressure here, obviously being able to knock out this Clefairy. Clefairy goes down. This Venusaur sitting at 100%. Here comes Mr. Murder, which is likely his Venusaur response. I would not be surprised if you see a Swords Dance right now, maybe a substitute. I don't know if this Toxicroak can 2 KO a Venusaur though, unless he gets that Swords Dance up. So very, very interesting stuff here, but definitely looking like Swellow is definitely in the driver's seat here, guys. I don't know if I can see Jedi Kadabra kind of bouncing this back unless he can weaken this Venusaur somehow, guys. This Venusaur is looking very threatening. He's going to make a safe play. Go into Bronzong here. That is going to allow the Nasty Plot. This is a specially offensive Toxicroak. I did not expect that. I always typically see the physically offensive Toxicroaks. I don't even know what this thing's special attack stat is. I'm going to Google it. I don't even know what this thing's special attack stat is. Why is this thing? I can't. Google doesn't work today. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me see, because I don't even know what this thing is, man. This thing gets. What is this thing's special attack? Does it get psychic? What is that? Toxicroak, you're changing the game right now, buddy. Toxicroak, 86 special attack. That's not bad. That's not bad. Does it get psychic or something? It gets rest. It doesn't get psychic. Does it get some flying move? I have no idea. I have no idea what to even think. It gets roleplay. I don't know what to even think right now. Special Toxicroak is about to be pretty scary. Dark Pulse coming off does knock out the Donphan. Wow, guys, this is very interesting. This Toxicroak sitting at +2, looking pretty scary. It does outspeed the Volcanion. It does outspeed the Diggersby, I believe, prior. Yeah, I think this thing outspeeds everything except for Swellow. Swellow can come in, outspeed it, but Toxicroak does typically carry not only Sucker Punch, but Vacuum Wave, and a Vacuum Wave at +2 after Stealth Rocks may be enough to knock out the Swellow. I'm going to run a little calc here. A Nasty Plot Toxicroak. I didn't realize that was like a pretty standard set, but let's see here. Nasty Plot +2 Vacuum Wave does knock out Swellow after Rocks. If he has the Vacuum Wave, this could knock out the Swellow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. This could be, he could fire off a Vacuum Wave here, guys, which would absolutely decimate not only the Diggersby, the Swellow, and he does outspeed the Volcanion. This is very, very scary. Those Stealth Rocks do secure the kill with Vacuum Wave. Will he pack the Vacuum Wave? He almost has to have Vacuum Wave, guys. He almost has to. I feel like Jedi Kadabra prepped for this match very, very well. He was on the back seat, but there's the Vacuum Wave. Life Orb Vacuum Wave does indeed knock out the Swellow, and the tides have turned. Here comes Venusaur. Very surprised that this Venusaur didn't come in earlier, guys, because the only thing Toxicroak can really do is fire off a Sludge Bomb here. The problem is Venusaur has no offensive response back except for going for a Sleep Powder. He needs to hit a Sleep Powder right here if he wants any chance to win this game. He needs to hit a Sleep Powder or be carrying the Earthquake. I think this Toxicroak may come out with the W. This is, I can't even believe this, man. 4 months of love for Fusions. Thank you, my friend Fusions. I do appreciate that. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Sludge Bomb here from the Toxicroak, carrying that Dark Pulse for the Bronzong tech. Oh my goodness. I think you're going to see a Sludge Bomb, guys. I don't think you're going to see an HP flying here. I think you're going to see a Sludge Bomb most likely. But wow. Whew. This is intense, man. I thought this game, like, I thought the Swellow had this game in the bag there, but this Venusaur, I don't know if it's going to be able to do anything to Toxicroak. I don't know if this Venusaur is going to be able to touch the Toxicroak, and if Toxicroak can take down the Venusaur, I believe it will simply win the match with Vacuum Wave. So, this is looking pretty intense. He's going to switch out into his Zapdos, predicting the Sleep Powder. Does have the safety goggles, allowing to take that Sleep Powder, making a very safe play there. I don't know if I agree with that play necessarily, but understandably so. Keeping that Toxicroak awake is incredibly important because that Vacuum Wave is going to do a tremendous amount to Diggersby. In fact, I'll run a calc right now for you guys. Vacuum Wave against Diggersby is going to do about 50 to 65%. So, here comes the Air Cutter, 48%, that is a 2-hit KO. Sludge Bomb comes off, no poison, puts him in range for another Air Cutter. If he can connect this Air Cutter, don't forget, Air Cutter is not a 100% accurate move. If he can connect another Air Cutter here, he will knock out the Venusaur. He cannot switch into the Volcanion, he cannot switch into the Diggersby, unless that Diggersby has Quick Attack. Oh my goodness. This is coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Who do you think has this match at this point in time, guys? Yeah, just so you guys know, HP Flying and Sludge Bomb do the same damage, I think. Based on stab and whatever else. Anyway, this is intense, yes. I didn't think Sludge Bomb would kill the Venusaur. It would have 2-hit KO'd probably, but he didn't want to risk the Sleep Powder, understandably so. But he lost that boost in his Toxicroak, so... Toxicroak does get Sludge Wave, that is true too, which is stronger than HP Ice would be. The Air Cutter does connect, knock out the Mega Venusaur, and it's looking like Jedi Kadabra may have a chance to win this match. Diggersby is likely the switch in here, potentially carrying either a Scarf Diggersby or maybe even a Quick Attack variant. In fact, a Scarf Diggersby could be incredibly scary here, but I just don't know if I see Volcanion and Diggersby getting around Rain Dance Politoed and then Swift Swim Swampert. I don't know if I can see those two Pokemon getting around that unless somehow this Diggersby gets up in agility, and a Swords Dance. That would be really the only way I see it happening, but I think this Diggersby needs to set up an agility or a Swords Dance. That is the only way that Swellow is winning this match at this point in time. He needs to get up a double dance here. Got to get that Swords Dance and agility. Hidden Power Ice comes off here. There's the return. That is going to knock out the Zapdos, but he shows the Life Orb, and that is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure I don't see this changing. Mr. Murder, the Toxicroak, very unlikely MVP for this match, but he is going to fire off that Vacuum Wave, knock out the Diggersby, and in comes Volcanion, taking 25%. He is going to drop down to 50%, and a Sludge Wave could potentially knock him out at this point in time. If not, this game is over either way between Swampert. And he's going to live on 4, so he will pick up the kill against the Toxicroak. But this game's over, ladies and gentlemen. Politoed comes in, sets up the rain. Swampert outspeeds the Volcanion regardless. Unless this thing gets 7 protects in a row here and some miracles happen, this game's over. And that is going to be the game. Give it up to your first ever aDrive Army subscriber tournament champion, Jedi Kadabra. His name is Callum, and he just won $100. A video on my YouTube channel, a shout out, and an invite into my aDrive team building server for the GBA, NPA, and UCL. Show some love in the chat to these amazing competitors. Great game to Swellow. Looked like he had the match, but that nasty plot Toxicroak, my goodness, aDrive Army, that nasty plot Toxicroak was just absolutely phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. Such great preparation. I'm actually a little embarrassed that I didn't even realize that Nasty Plot Toxicroak was like super standard. Like, I've always seen it as an SD variant, but just amazing, man. That Vacuum Wave, great planning there, knowing that after rocks he can knock out the Swellow, knowing that he can knock out the Diggersby in one hit after a Nasty Plot with that Life Orb, being able to check the Venusaur, keep that Venusaur from really doing anything, that fighting and poison typing, that poison typing allowing it to take Giga Drains and Sludge Bombs from those two Pokemon. You've obviously got the opportunity to Dark Pulse. He did a tremendous amount to that Donphan trying to switch in. That Nasty Plot, Toxicroak proved to be just an incredible, incredible Pokemon this matchup. And we see the first ever aDrive Army subscriber tournament won by a Rain team. Very, very interesting. Utilizing the Rain, but making it dynamic enough that he could take on the entirety of 128 teams to get to the final match. Big, big shout outs again to Jedi Kadabra, Callum, of course. Congratulations, man. I hope you're watching and listening. Congratulations, man. We'll talk after on Discord and make sure you get all hooked up and ready to rock and roll. If you guys saw this on YouTube after the fact, show your love. Let me know if you guys want to see more tournaments. Again, I got to show a big, big shout outs to my aDrive Army mod squad and the admin team for running this tournament and making it happen. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you guys are tuning into the stream right now, it's your first time here, definitely drop a follow if you haven't done so yet, guys. Following is always free. I do try to stream pretty much every single day. Thank you, Washawake, for the $1 tip, man. Says congrats to the winner. Can I DM you? Yes, DM me tomorrow, man. Not exactly the best time, Washel, but thank you, man, for the tip, and definitely DM me, no problem. You're always welcome to, guys. That's always, any subs, you're welcome to send me a message if you have any questions or anything in our Discord server. But just absolutely wonderful matches, man. We had some really intense matches here for our final four. Incredible matchup between Swellow and Gregulator, with that Shuckleberry coming in, and then this matchup here, I really thought the game was going to be over. I thought that Swellow had it with that Mega Venusaur. I really didn't see any way that Jedi Kadabra could get through that Mega Venusaur, but I was clearly proven wrong with that nasty plot. Toxicroak putting on just a tremendous amount of pressure, and then of course that Air Cutter Zapdos putting in enough work to make some things happen there and pick up the kill on the Venusaur. So again, a big shout out to all the mods, all the admins. Thank you to the aDrive Army for participating in the first ever aDrive Army subscriber tournament. Big shout outs again to Jedi Kadabra, of course, Callum, for the W, man. $100 sounds pretty awesome, dude. I'll definitely send that over to you. We'll talk in a little bit. And congratulations, man, for the win. Thank you to every one of you guys who participated. Whether you made it all the way to the end, whether you were knocked out in the first round, I hope you had fun, because our goal here is to have some fun, bring our community together, show you guys how awesome it is to do the counter team format, and hopefully we can do another one of these tournaments again. That is going to be that for me, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys did enjoy our aDrive Army subscriber tournament, guys. Big shouts to the winner again. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.